Folks, welcome to Last Exit Live here in Phoenix. Michaela Davis about to go to blows with her band and the audience, and Southern Star, and we're going to be treated to an opening set by Cian McCarthy. Welcome back to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Oh, it's great to be back, man. You
talk a little bit about, just sort of the idea of like your purpose in your intentions in playing for people. I don't like the word performance because to me, like, you're taking cues if it's a performance.
Yeah.
But this is more like, obviously there's structure, but can you just talk about like what you want to get across to the people?
For me, I guess the thing.
Look at the camera.
Yeah. The thing that I would want to get across is, I guess, like the thing that it's not like something specific, but there's something that I want to experience. So if people have their own experience of what that is, I don't expect it to be like the exact experience. Like I'm trying to intend it.
Sure.
Like for them to experience that, but whatever that would mean.
Well, no, I want you to talk about this because
it
was just Ayrton Moriero's birthday, the drummer from Return to Forever.
Yeah, sure.
I hope he's doing all right. His health hasn't been that great, but he talked about, he's like, I got to get myself off first if I'm going to get the audience off. So you're talking about in engaging yourself.
Yeah,
not you have to get off if you're going to get the audience off.
This is something I guess that I come back to thinking about it. And like there's an interview with Jerry Garcia where he talks about like how the relationship that you have with like how you feel and how the music actually winds up sounding is not often like related in the way that you would think, and that I think that's definitely true. Like I've experienced that myself. But I think
hold on, I want to stop. I want to go deeper on that.
I think
what he's saying is that it means something different to everybody.
More like if you could have like the worst night on stage and it sounded great to everybody, or you could feel like you were doing really well up there, and then you listen back and it's not as good as you thought. Right. Which sure. I think is true, but I think it also like the way that you feel. If you're not trying to tap into something, I don't really know what you're pulling from.
Right.
You know? Like you kind of like that's something to keep in mind, but it's not something to like use as like a cop out or something. You still want to feel good, I think, and like you want to connect those two, in my opinion.
Did you ever? I'm not sure if we talked about this, but like, did you? The old adage was always, hey, if you're gonna make it as a jazzer, not that that's what you are, but you can play jazz, that you got to make it in New York. Did you ever consider, like to me, like the greatest thing about New York at a certain period of time was that there were like these cut sessions that were invigorating, like Clifford Jarvis and John Coltrane, and like it would just be like Train would show up at these things. And like I just wonder, like I miss that. I feel like that's the cloth you guys are cut from, you specifically. And I wonder what is the closest thing you get to like that kind of intensity. Is that still existent? I feel like in some ways just what we're doing right now, this interface between Cian and I, we got a blockage. We got technology right here. Before there was none of that. In fact, there wasn't air conditioning in most apartments. So people were going out and jamming. What's the closest thing you've gotten to, like, I don't want to say cut sessions, but even up in Rochester, Gad and Levin were cutting at the Piath, the club up there.
Right.
I'm just curious about, like, is it still possible to feel that burn, to feel that intensity?
Yeah, it's definitely out there happening. For me, that was like in college. Like that was,
So explain what that was like, because I want that.
It wasn't like we were really trying to like show each other up, but there was a constant want to like play, and so we were always trying to jam, get a jam session going.
But here's the thing: I wanted you to talk about with your friends.
Yeah.
How did you specifically, Cian McCarthy? Like, to me, like you're a good person, because there are people that like you. I'm not a musician, but there are people that you watch them play, and you want to quit playing. And then there are people that are really good, but they're beautiful people, and they inspire other people to keep playing. So with your peers, wasn't that part of it? It wasn't a competition.
Right.
It was,
right.
hey, let's inspire each other.
Yeah, we all wanted to
Even though you're kind of still
we
young.
all wanted to make music that was inspiring to us. I mean, there's different kinds of jams that you can have. Some are, there's a ton of people and you're calling a bunch of tunes, and one song could take like 40 minutes to get through all the soloists or whatever.
Jeez.
But then there's the other way is, just you get together maybe 5 people and just hang out in some drum room or something and just see what happens. I mean, a lot of the time we would just play free, and just try to make music, and there was some special stuff that came out of that.
Were you playing a lot of saxophone then?
Yeah, that's what I went to school for.
Really?
Yeah, tenor sax. Yeah.
Wow.
And I switched to classical composition after a couple of years.
Why was this?
Well, I always when I wanted to go to college, I was kind of split between whether I wanted to study jazz or classical composition. And then I had a friend who did 2 years of jazz and then switched over and did like as a junior, he didn't miss anything. They considered that was cool, that was classical enough to study jazz for a couple of years. So he was able to do 2 years of classical comp and graduate in 4 years. So I just thought hell, that's.
Are you able to use that for gigs? You can compose for people.
I've never really used
Fascinating.
I've never
used. It was just growth.
Yeah, for me, college was just learning about the music, and I made connections with people like Alex. We're still playing together, and made a lot of great friends. But I don't know. It's not something that I have tried to make a career out of. Besides, I do want to perform. Not that to use that dirty word, but
Well, it's not a dirty word. It's just, to me, that's I guess my question is, where do you want to see this band grow the most? You guys are all high-level musicians. You're trying to sing for your supper, so you got to put money in the bank. It's not like you can play Alice Coltrane all night, All right? I wish that was the case, and you could do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of this band, it feels like you guys are continuing to grow. Where do you, in your mind's eye, where do you want to take it yourself, in your own mind?
I think it's I think it's in a good place, and just keep going and letting the music be what kind of leads us on to the next thing.
Yeah.
You find something where you're at, and it's you're excited by what's happening in the moment, but because of that, it's because you came from somewhere before, and then there's something else that you're going to. But it's really hard to know what exactly that is until it kind of reveals itself, and you go in that direction. But we want to keep making original stuff, and keep writing songs and coming up with new ideas.
What's your message? Your mom and dad are at home tonight, eating dinner, maybe settling down now for the evening. What's your message to them about you and your brother out here on the road?
Well, we had a good talk with them earlier today.
Oh, you talked to them earlier?
Yeah. And but I would.
Are they very? Do they for them? I mean, my folks. It took them a long time to sort of understand what the Jake Feinberg show was all about. They kind of freaked out for a while.
Okay.
And I had to go off in my own course and cut my own path.
Yeah.
But you guys have been playing music together for a long time. What are your parents ultimately like? What do they respect about you guys the most?
I think I don't know. I mean, I think they just
Please look at me. Look at me.
Sorry,
yeah. Dude, Cian is. No, I'm saying your name perfectly correct.
You are.
Yeah. No, listen. The point is, it's a hard question. No, but they do.
I think I don't know that we could be doing something that they would think oh man,
right,
you shouldn't be doing that. But I don't really have that experience. They generally just support whatever it is that we want to do, and are excited. When we have something to show, they're especially excited that oh wow, you did this thing and that's cool, and they're happy for like
They get
some
it. I mean,
success
yeah.
that we might have had, but like they're musicians, and so they understand. Like, I think especially my dad kind of feels like, well, I kind of got you into this whole mess, so I don't think he would never try to dissuade me from doing the same thing that he did and got us into it. So
That's beautiful. And you're playing the New York Folk Fair, the county fair?
the New York State Fair in Syracuse.
What date is that?
Boy, we were playing 4 days.
Wait, the family's playing for 4 straight days?
Yeah, I think it starts on the 25th.
Shit. Of August?
Yeah. So we're coming right off this tour and going straight to it. Yeah.
Well, you guys make sure you treasure every moment, man. You burn.
We will. The brothers are missing 1 day, but our mom and dad will be there without us, and then we'll be there on the 26th. And then, what is it, 4? Yeah, is it 4 straight days?
And then Labor Day.
Cian McCarthy, such an honor to talk to you, brother. Go burn tonight, man, all right?
All right.
All right, baby.
Great
Much
talking
love.
to you, Jake.
Jake Feinberg Show. Peace.